Good morning, everyone. It's time to make that money. So I was looking at the news and we noticed that Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, has recently stepped down. And that's important because as he is stepping down, Kathy Woods of ARK Investment goes and buys 1.1 million shares that is worth like almost $50 million of this particular stock. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's see how we can possibly make some money or save some money. So with that being said, let's get right into the review. Now, first and foremost, at any time that a CEO or a COO steps down from any large corporation or social media company like Twitter, you're going to see some rocks, you're going to see some falls, you're going to see some trips, whereas though the stock is going to tank just a little bit. And I don't mean tank like at 0%, but it's going to decline at a significant amount. So let's get into it. Over the past 5 years, Twitter has been up around 148% in the past year, down 4% the past 3 months, down 31% the past month, 18% the past week, 4%, and then today it's been down almost let's just give it around 4%, including the pre-market. So why this is important? This is important because for the entire year, Twitter has, for what I can tell, all the posts, all the information that's going on Twitter, all the communication, social media has been still vibrant, okay? But when it comes to the stock and the business decisions, it has not been doing financially well. So what does that tell you? The first thing is it all goes in the chief, the CEO, the chief executive officer. So I don't know if this was a financial decision. I don't know if the board of directors got together and say, hey, Jack, we need you to step down. Twitter's not doing so well. We need some new leadership. Okay, we need some new leadership. And we're going to get into that. But first, we're going to talk just a little bit about Twitter. Most of us are Twitter users. Like if you're using YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and also Facebook, those are the major social media platforms that most people are using. I understand that some people are using Snapchat as well, but nonetheless, most people are using Twitter. Now, it says Twitter is a global platform, public self-expression and conversation in real time. It provides a network that connects users to people, information, ideas, opinions, and news. The company's services include live commentary, live connection, and live conversations. So there's a lot of things that Twitter does that you guys may not be aware of. It says that its application provides social networking services and micro blogging services through mobile devices and the internet. Also, you know, there's a plug within Twitter that's similar to Clubhouse. Did you guys know that they have somewhat where you can talk live with other people through the Twitter platform? So there's a lot of room for growth with Twitter. And I believe that bringing on this new CEO, having a fresh face, having a fresh start will help Twitter to get to the forecasted amount of $80 per share. So ladies and gentlemen, if you buy in right now at around $44 per share, you could essentially be doubling your money. Let me see if there's anything else to note here. Let's look at the market capitalization here. We're looking at $35.13 billion, an average movement volume of 24.57 million. And here's some of the hot stories right here. Currently, the analyst ratings on Robinhood is stating 28% buy, 61.5% hold, and sell at only 10%. So if you have it, hold it. If you don't, buy a little at least, okay? I'm not going to get into what the bulls and bears saying. We're going to skip right over that. We're going to look at the trending analysis here. We're looking at the earnings rating. We see in the first part of the F120 that it went up and then down as F121 fiscal year 21 has declined over the course of time. Now, Kathy Woods. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Kathy Woods, you should. Okay, she's a $1 billion investment. She's a CEO of ARK Investment. And we're going to get into some of those ARK Investment ETFs because I have an ARK investment within my portfolio that I invest at least $25 a month. And that's the 3D printing ARK investment. But nonetheless, let's get into this particular story. So it says here, Kathy Woods, ARK buys 1 million Twitter shares after Dorsey steps down. Why is this important to investors? See, the one thing you know when you start getting to investing in the stock market is that you start to understand the world just a little bit better. You understand the intricate pieces and parts and how things move. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I advise everyone to take an economics class, whether it be a week, 2 weeks to a month. It is important to understand economics because once you understand how the world works, you will also understand how money moves. And listen, your dollar in your pocket, that's a depreciating asset. The dollars in your pocket are depreciating asset if you don't use it in the stock market. Let me tell you why. Some of you say, oh, I have 10,000, 15,000 saved in the bank. If you're not investing your money, guess who investing your money for you? The bank. The bank is now your plug. See, you want the stock market to be your plug so you can invest in those other companies. When you invest, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? You own a piece of the company. So every time the company makes money, so do you. See, when you look at all these particular apparels and items and gadgets and electronics that you have, Sony, Samsung, Nike, Reebok, it doesn't matter what it is. The companies that you hold true, if you look in your closet, majority of your shoes and clothing is what? You should be investing in that company. You look in your kitchen, most of your appliances are probably what? Procter & Gamble. You should be investing in that company. If you are dealing with certain sorts of alternative meats, like Impossible Meats, you should be investing in that company. These are the things that you should understand. All these items that you have in your house, so to speak, you should be investing in those companies. Last but not least, all the social media platforms that you guys go on each and every day, you should be investing in those companies. And the new way of investing, ladies and gentlemen, there is no excuse for anyone. You can invest $5 a month in Google, which is the owner of YouTube. You can invest $5 a month in Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. All of these social media platforms that you guys are a part of, you should be investing because you see the value. You see the value because you use it or you get on it every single day. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Let's get back into it. So anyway, it says here that Cathie Wood's ARK Investment Management brought more than 1 million shares of Twitter after a day after Jack Dorsey stepped down as the chief executive of the social media site. And it states here that the Twitter shares are worth 48.9 million, as I stated before, around $50 million, okay, at a price of $43.94. Now, see what Cathie Woods is doing. She always hedges her investments. Very, very important. When it comes to Twitter, your question is, should you be investing in Twitter right now? Because as I'm looking at the Twitter price, I'm going to go back to Twitter here, guys. She bought it at $43. Currently it's up already $1. So the amount of shares she's bought, she's already made over $1 million. And Twitter is still ticking up at 44 and 49. Let me go back. So she bought it at $43.94 and she bought 1.1 million shares. So that's easy math. It's up $1. She's already made $1 million off her investment. This is the power of investment. This is the power of going into the stock market. Stop saving all your damn money and invest some of your money, because this is what the banks do. The banks take your money. You got it in your savings account, and they give you a measly 0.05%, a measly 0.10%, not even 1%. They take your hard work in cash, and they invest it in the stock market to increase their profit margin. And the only thing they're doing is holding on to your money. Why won't you invest in some things that you know of? Like me, I love LG, so I invested in LG. There's all these products that you guys just love this particular company, love this particular product, but you're not investing in it. I know a lot of ladies using whether it be apparel or makeup. Invest in those companies, ladies. Men, whether it be your shoes, your pants, your gadget, your car, invest in those things. This is how you start off investing in things that you are aware of and you see the value. This is how Warren Buffett started off. Warren Buffett started off investing in things that he knew of and then expanded out. But I digress. But nonetheless, this is the power of investing, okay? One more thing here. It says ARK on Tuesday also bought 837,000 shares of the online brokerage firm Robinhood, the same platform that we're looking at right now, which is worth $21.7 million. And as I'm looking at my portfolio over here to your right, ladies and gentlemen, I have 5 shares of Robinhood. So anytime that Kathy Woods invests in any company, the stocks go up because she is a major mover when it comes to an investment. Okay. But let me show you what you probably have not been watching is that quite recently, I think about a month and a half ago, she sold a large amount of shares of her Tesla. Now, what she does is she waits till Tesla skyrockets and then she sells large amounts. So she pretty much hedges her investments. Here we go. What has been in the news recently after her fund sold over $1 billion worth of Tesla? She sold $1 billion worth of Tesla stocks. It says merely a few months after the investment famously backed the share price of the electric vehicle market to touch $3,000, which she understood that this is overinflation of the market. The growth-focused fund has hit by inflationary headwinds in recent weeks. Let's read a little bit more here. And it states that with a certain duration, because not doing so would not be wise portfolio management, she told CNBC last year after slashing her stake in the company. Okay, one more. Kathy Wood is known. She is known for investing in high-flying tech stocks, but she isn't opposed to buying low, as I tell you guys all the time, and selling high. Woodard sold 46,000 shares of Tesla last Thursday and 80,000 shares last Friday, a total haul estimate of $114 million. Why is this important to you guys? Regardless if you understand the money or the numbers itself, what you need to understand is this. Having your money sitting in a bank does nothing good for you. It's quite that simple. Now, here's a projection of Twitter over the next 12 months. Right now, it's sitting at $44, about to hit $45. So we're still on the low end. The median price of Twitter, what they're projecting here on CNN Business, is $68.50 at a high of $86. My opinion with you guys and what I believe that you should do is buy. Is buy and hold. Yeah. If you have Twitter, don't sell it, in my opinion. Now, this goes against if you're a day trader. If you're a day trader, you're playing the percentage, you're looking at analytics, statistics, I got it. So you're going to be trading and selling Twitter all day. If you're a swing trader, you're looking at to buying a large amount of Twitter shares, and then you may sell them within the next month or two. But if you're a long-term investor like myself, every now and again I get into swing trading, but I'm no longer day trading. But when it comes to buy, hold, that's pretty much me. I like to look for the long haul because a lot of these social media companies like Twitter, they have so many intricate parts to their company that a lot of us just don't even know. As I said before, did you know there's a part of Twitter it's an exclusive part of Twitter that is similar to Clubhouse, where there's this different sorts of rooms you can go in and actually have commentary and talk and blah, 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 right? You know what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, this is where predicting where Twitter will be going in the next 12 months. And I believe that at least it'll reach $70. So even right now, I can make $30 of my investment. Now, let me always give you the other side. Let me give you the other side of the pendulum here when I'm referring to the compare and contrast of stocks. Now, Yahoo is stating that this is a 2.7 buy, almost at a hold, but their projection is different. Their projection is different than CNN Business. They're stating in the short term, mid-term, and long term that Twitter will be going down. Also, Zach says that this is a strong sell. And the style scores are F for value, C for growth, D for momentum, of course, the overall score, VGM of F. Now, going over to Market Watch. Now, I know this to you guys should all look bad. Like this company is doing absolutely horrible when we're looking at year-to-date, 19% down. 3 months, 33% down. 1 month, 19% down. 5 days, around 8% down. The past year, 7% down. But Market Watch is saying you should hold this stock. Now, anytime there's a shakeup of a company where the CEO is stepping down, look for this to happen. Especially when the company revenue growth is appreciating. meaning that they're really not making any money. Okay, they're not bringing in a large amounts of revenue a year. And I'm looking at their EPS. Their earnings per share right here, ladies and gentlemen, is not bad at all. 0.24, 24 cents. No, I want to see a -8. I want to see a $10 here to show me that the company is operating out of debt. Twitter is not operating out of debt, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely not. Let me show you some of the partners and the importance of these partners that you guys may not be aware of. One, I would point out is Black Swan. You guys probably never heard of Black Swan, but Black Swan technology scientifically connects and predicts consumer trends, helping companies identify new growth and innovation opportunities early. Why is this important? Let me tell you why this is important. Every now and again, I'll go on Instagram, and as I'm scrolling my Instagram feed, I'm looking at commercial, I'm looking at ad, and there's some very interesting products. And I'll click on that product, and guess what? I bought some products off of Instagram. That's important because you, as a social media user, you're strolling, you're looking at funny videos, interesting videos, you're trying to learn something, you're looking at pictures, and then you see an interesting product and you click on it. Okay. Every time you click on it, someone's getting paid, even if you buy or not, because you're interested in it. Black Swan is one of those companies that's working the backdrop of looking at consumer trends. They're looking at what the public likes to see and the public likes to want, whether it be clothing, inventions, or new products. These are one of the companies that's working in the backdrops of Twitter. So as you're going through your Twitter feed, you're clicking on advertising. What does this mean? That Twitter could be profitable, very profitable in the future, especially with a new CEO. Let me move on. Bloomberg, we all know what Bloomberg is about. It says via the Bloomberg Terminal Enterprise Data Services, Bloomberg provides data, news, research, analysis, analytics, and more for faster and better decision making. Let me point out Hootsuite is the global leader in social media management with over 200,000 paid accounts and millions of users. Hootsuite powers social media for brands around the world. So this helps make Twitter more global. This is all about money. Last but not least, let's look at Salesforce. I know you guys are familiar with Salesforce. Salesforce Marketing Cloud is the world's most powerful digital marketing platform. Now, some of these other ones play a very important and pivotal role when it comes to Twitter and its marketing and advertisement throughout the U.S. as well as the world. But ladies and gentlemen, I think you should buy just a little bit of some Twitter stocks, or at least buy into some options, what I think is very important. Okay. Now, with that being said, I'm just going to glance over here at my Twitter feed and where I post little things. And as you notice, there's a lot of things going on Twitter. Okay, let's look at this. So first and foremost, being a YouTuber, I can post a lot of my videos right here on Twitter, and people can view them on Twitter. So right here on this particular video, I have 24 views on Twitter. I also have people that I follow over here, like Vicky Dillard and TBA, all these other people. I didn't click on Vicky Dillard. I'm just showing you guys that you can also follow people on all social media platforms, also have the news. All sorts of things are happening on Twitter, and you guys are familiar with this, okay? And here's another thing. Let me show you some of my messages here. I've also talked to YouTube as well as Google, okay? And Google is YouTube, but the point I'm making here is Twitter has a large use in social media and other uses. Now, before I leave you here, I did tell you about all the ETFs in case you just don't want to directly invest in Twitter or directly invest in Google or Facebook, etc. ARK investment with Kathy Woods. Now, let's look at this. Here's some of the investment at ARK Investments, okay? We're going to read here from left to right. We see next generation internet, genomic revolution, autonomous tech, and robots. So these are self-explanatory if you read the title. Let me blow this up just a little bit. Okay. Now, the green checks mean that these are the U.S. markets. Okay. That means that these are the U.S. markets. The red checks mean that these are in the Japanese market. The yellow means the European market. And then the green is the Canadian markets. Okay. So green checks, you can buy these in the U.S. Purple checks, you can buy these in Canada. Red checks, you can buy this in Japan. And the yellow, you can buy this in Singapore, Malaysia, and the European markets. Now, the one that I heavily invest in is a 3D printing ARC investment. Okay. And this is in case you guys want to get into some ETFs. And I'm just breaking it down for you here. There's a lot of investment that you can make through ARC investments. Okay. I know this is about Twitter, but there's still money to be made elsewhere. And you can go through this and look at all of this. Of course, Kathy Woods is the CEO. As we stated before, she is buying large stakes of Tesla as well as Twitter. Now, believe it or not, even though she sold large amounts of Tesla, she still has shares of Tesla. Okay. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't want to be before you long. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. And I'll behoove you to go in and buy maybe some options, maybe a couple of shares of Twitter. If not, buy some ARK investment where there's a portfolio of different stocks that you can invest in. Learn money and be inspired. You guys have a great and wonderful day. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.